Perhaps right now, keeping silent feels impossible. Your chest feels heavy, your mind is screaming, your hands want to text her, even though you know you shouldn't. But listen carefully to this. The silence you're applying now will transform you into the man she can neither forget, nor ignore, nor replace. Your silence isn't emptiness, it's your new dignity, your new self-respect, your new way of showing that your value doesn't depend on her attention. Welcome to relationship psychology. That first day when you decide not to write, she doesn't understand it. She thought she had you always available, always waiting, always ready to respond. She believed she could easily manipulate your heart. But when you choose yourself for the first time, instead of choosing conversation with her, something starts to break inside her. She won't show it, won't admit it, won't say it, but she feels it. Your silence begins where her doubt starts. And while you're breathing deeply to avoid cracking, to avoid reaching out, to avoid responding impulsively, she starts checking her phone screen more often than she'd like to admit. It's not love yet, it's worry, the feeling that something has changed. That emotional noise that arises when a woman senses the man she took for granted is starting to vanish. Your silence opens the door to her emotional insecurity. This video will explain exactly how to apply silence from the very beginning, how to stay firm even if she plays the cold card, how to act when she finally texts you back, and what are the 7 steps that turn you into a man impossible to ignore. Because this isn't about punishing her, manipulating her, or getting revenge. It's about reclaiming your power, rebuilding your center, elevating your value. And let's be clear right now, male silence doesn't work when it's used as a tactic. It works when it becomes a declaration of value. When you don't write because you've chosen peace, when you don't react because you've chosen your dignity, when you don't chase because you've realized that love isn't begged for, it inspires. And when she sees this change, when she feels it, when she notices it, she won't be able to help reacting. Before we go on, like this video if you've already chosen silence as your ultimate form of dignity. And leave me just one word in the comments, silent, because sometimes it's when you're silent that you resonate the loudest. Why does silence work? This is how your journey begins. Not with a message, not with an explanation, not with a desperate attempt to fix what's broken. It starts with your silence. And believe me, if you apply it the way I'm about to teach you, she won't be able to ignore it, because a silent but strong man always leaves a mark. The first thing to understand is that a woman never reacts to silence on the first day. She reacts when the silence starts filling the space your energy used to occupy. At the beginning, she's calm, confident, even relaxed. She thinks it's just an impulse on your part, a childish reaction, something that'll pass in a few hours. She believes you'll come back like always. But what she doesn't know is that this time, you're not silent out of pain. You're silent out of growth. And it's exactly in that contrast that silence starts doing its work, because she doesn't fear your immediate absence. She fears your sustained absence. She doesn't fear you pulling away for a day. She fears you getting used to life without her. She doesn't fear you not texting today. She fears that one day you'll stop texting forever. That's what triggers her anxiety. What seems like calm at first starts turning into doubt. She'll try to convince herself everything is under control. She'll think you're still waiting, watching for the moment to come back. That this is just a strategic silence you can't sustain. But every hour that passes, every day you say nothing, every night you don't appear, that confidence weakens. And when that confidence breaks, something she can't avoid emerges. The fear of losing you. This is where many men fail. When they sense her calm, they think nothing is working, that she's fine, happy, no longer thinking about them. So they crack, they text, react, give in. You can't make that mistake. Her calm isn't indifference, it's resistance. And like any resistance, sooner or later it wears out. Remember this. Male silence doesn't unsettle a woman because you're quiet, but because she imagines things while you're quiet. Her mind can't handle voids. It needs answers, context, explanations. But when you decide not to give her any, she's forced to invent them. And in that process, overthinking begins. Confusion, worry, the loss of that security she had when you were waiting on her. Now comes the important part. This is where you stop thinking silence is just about not texting and realize it's an emotional strategy that completely shifts the dynamic between you and her. Because silence isn't just shutting up. It's knowing how to shut up, knowing from what place you're doing it, knowing why, and especially knowing what to do while you're doing it. That's the secret almost no man knows. Many keep silent from pain, anger, anxiety, and that way, it doesn't work. The silence that brings a woman back is silence with purpose, structure, and dignity. That's why today I'm giving you the exact 7 steps that turn your absence into an emotional force impossible to ignore. Step 1. Disappear without drama. No speeches, no long explanations, no, I'm leaving so you'll value me. No, you exit the stage calmly, without noise, without theatrics, because when you say nothing, she has nothing to use against you. She remains alone with her interpretations, and those interpretations always destabilize her. Disappearing without drama isn't being cold, it's being dignified, showing you don't need emotional closure to walk away, that you don't need permission to choose yourself, that you have nothing left to explain. When you leave from a place of calm, without demanding anything, without begging for answers, without needing to be understood, she feels something she can't hide. The void left by a man who doesn't fight to stay but chooses to leave. She's always expecting the typical line, I need time, I'm leaving so you'll value me, I'm stopping texting so you'll miss me. But you give her none of that. And when you give her no emotional reference, no mental framework, no speech, she's thrown off balance. A woman doesn't fear a man who cries or begs or breaks, but she deeply fears a man who goes silent. Step 2. Cut off all emotional reactions. You don't react to indirect posts, stories, provocations, sensual uploads. You don't give her the pleasure of knowing it affects you. Your silence is worthless if your emotions betray that you're still on your knees. She needs to feel that the man who left has also changed inside. Most women are confident that sooner or later you'll react, that seeing one of those stories will sting you, that a detail will make you unable to hold back, that she'll make you nervous by posting a photo hinting she's better off without you. That's what they expect. That's what always worked with unprepared men. But when you stay firm, when you don't even flinch at those moves, something starts breaking in her sense of control. Because even if she won't admit it, she posts a lot to gauge your reaction, to see if you're still waiting, to check if you still care. And when she sees you don't react, not with a like, not with a view, not with a message, not with an indirect, she starts feeling she's lost the power to influence you. Step 3. Total silence on social media too. No posting sad quotes, no indirects, no selfies to get her attention. Most men break silence with visual noise. You don't, you vanish from the radar. And that void, that mystery awakens more emotions in her than any message you could send. Social media today is an emotional language. Everything you post, share, show has a hidden message. She knows it, you know it. That's why when you disappear from networks too, when you post nothing new, leave no trace, give no signals, the impact is far greater because she no longer notices just your direct silence. She notices your total silence. And here, something very powerful happens. When you post nothing, she starts wondering what's going on in your life. Are you okay? Are you struggling? Are you moving forward? Are you with someone? Have you forgotten her? Uncertainty kills her. And that uncertainty isn't triggered when you post content. It's triggered when you post absolutely nothing, because the unknown worries far more than the obvious. Step 4. Invest your energy in yourself. This is the step that truly changes everything. Many men think silence is just not talking, not texting, holding out. But the real silence, the one that transforms your life and disarms her, is the one you use to elevate yourself, not to wait. When you stop investing energy in her and start investing it in yourself, your silence stops being absence and becomes growth she can't ignore. Investing in yourself means that every day you don't text her, you grow a little more. You don't stay stuck staring at your phone. You don't dedicate yourself to suffering in silence. You don't wait for her to come back to have a life. You fill the space she left with something far greater: discipline, progress, focus. This step separates the man who wants to get her back from the man who gets himself back. And even if she doesn't see it directly, she feels it. You change your habits, your attitude, your way of moving through life. She senses the difference in old photos, in how you speak when you eventually reply, in how you carry yourself. Energy doesn't lie, and a woman notices everything. Every step forward you take is a slow but steady blow to her ego. Every improvement is a reminder that you're a high-value man. Every move forward plants a new doubt in her mind. What if now he doesn't want me anymore? What if I've lost a man who's leveling up? What if I'm no longer part of his life? Step 5. Get off her emotional radar. This is where your silence becomes more effective than ever. Not texting her is one thing. Her no longer feeling your emotional presence is entirely different. Before, even when you weren't talking, you were there, reacting, watching, waiting. You gave signals you were still on standby. But now, no. Now you vanish from her emotional radar, and that's what truly destabilizes her. When a woman no longer feels you waiting, no longer senses you're there in the background, no longer detects your energy seeking her attention, something inevitable happens. She starts wondering what's going on with you, and that doubt is deep, disturbing, persistent. She can't avoid it. Your silence leaves her without a map, without a script, without control. And when a woman loses control over a man who used to be available, her emotional fall begins. What you need to understand is that silence made her think, but emotional absence makes her fear. When you're no longer on her radar, she doesn't just feel you drifting away, she feels she's losing you. Step 6. Handle the test when she seeks attention. There will come a moment when her silence breaks, not always with a direct message. Sometimes it'll be a reaction, a provocative story, a carefully chosen photo, an ambiguous phrase. But it will happen. Why? Because your silence, your calm, your emotional absence will have done their job. She'll need to check if she still has you, if you still care, if she can still influence you. This is the first test, the moment many men get wrong. But you won't be one of them. When she seeks attention, you have two choices. React like the man you were, or respond like the man you've become. The old you would have chased, replied fast, fallen into every emotional trap. The man you're building now doesn't. You analyze, you breathe, you observe, and you hold your center. Your job here isn't to ignore her aggressively or show contempt. Your job is not to give away emotions. If she posts a suggestive photo, you don't react. If she shares something sad, you don't ask. If she indirectly mentions you, you don't bite. If she writes something clearly meant to provoke, you don't move. Step 7. The right attitude when she finally texts you. That message will come. No matter how the story ends, no matter how long it takes, no matter her pride, that message will arrive because your silence, your emotional absence, your growth, and your calm will have created something in her she can't ignore. And when that message appears on your screen, remember this. It's not what she says that matters, but who you are when she says it. Most men, upon receiving that message, throw everything out the window. They get excited, rush, reply too fast, instantly show they've been waiting. But you won't make that mistake. You'll act like the man you've built through this whole process, not the man who started the silence, but the man reborn from it. When she texts, you reply from calm, neither cold nor overly warm, neither distant nor desperate. You reply like a man who no longer needs anything, like someone with a stable, busy, full life, with short, serene responses, no urgency, no rush to dive into deep conversations. Her message shouldn't pull you out of your center. It should remind you of the power you've gained. Your pace stays relaxed. You don't reply instantly. You don't open the emotional door wide. You don't surrender the ground you've reclaimed. She needs to feel in every word that you're no longer an easy man to have, no longer desperate, no longer the man she left. She needs to notice that now you're a man who respects himself. Conclusion: listen to this carefully. She doesn't come back because she missed you. She comes back because she felt your absence, because she felt your growth, because she felt she was losing you. And when she returns, you don't reward her with immediate attention. You give her conversation from balance, not need. You give her presence from stability, not anxiety. You show through your attitude that if she re-enters your life, it'll be under a new standard. The standard of the man who learned to love himself, to stay silent, to move forward, and to rise. When she comes back, you don't kneel. When she comes back, you don't chase. When she comes back, you don't give everything again. When she comes back, you decide if it suits you. Because silence doesn't just reveal who she is, it reveals who you've become. Always remember this. Silence isn't absence. Silence is transformation. And if you apply it the way I've taught you, she won't be able to help coming back.